Welcome to a special edition of Brian's Action Figure Reviews. And with the weekend ahead, we've got one of the biggest moments on the wrestling calendar coming up this Sunday night, Monday morning with WrestleMania. So I myself have gotten the day off work Monday to stay up and watch it for the first time in a couple of years. So with myself doing this YouTube channel, it seems only natural to use this platform to talk about WrestleMania. As you've seen, if you've watched any of my recent videos, I've reviewed a bunch of wrestling figures, and I have a few more to do as well in the coming days. This fella being one of them, a few others as well. But so I'm going to do a full WrestleMania preview, a rundown of the card, and if you've been watching Raw and SmackDown lately, you'll know there is an absolute abundance of matches. There's like 14 in total, maybe 15, I could be wrong. So I'm not going to cover it all in one video. So if you don't hear me talking about the match you're looking forward to, it'll be coming in part 2. I've actually wrote out the card in full, gone 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I've not even separated the matches in any special way or anything. It's just skip one, skip one, skip one, skip one. So speaking of skipping one, I'm going to start with the Women's Battle Royal, which is going to be on the pre-show. So I've heard. There's a number of women in this, including Asuka, probably the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Sex and Violence, I think they're called. I don't know. I've heard that in What Culture. I could be wrong. They could be wrong. I've never heard it said on WWE TV before. Again, this is just an attempt to give everyone their little moment in the spotlight, and I'm sure this will be a botch fest, massive botch fest, because the only competent wrestler in that match is probably Asuka. Now, when I say competent, I'm probably doing a disservice to the likes of Mandy Rose and that, but the only over wrestler is Asuka, so I think she's got to win that. As you can see now, I'm going to do predictions for each match as well. So Asuka to win the Women's Battle Royal. Firstly, my next match is Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Now, if you'd asked if this was on last year's card, I would have wanted Drew McIntyre to win every single time for obvious reasons. But Roman Reigns, as everybody knows, has come back recently from battling leukemia, which is a great story. It's fantastic. And as someone who battled illness and myself when I was younger, I can relate to that a lot. And fair play to Roman for coming back. I hope he wins. He deserves a round of applause at WrestleMania for everything he's achieved in coming back from his illness. Unfortunately, it's going to be at Drew McIntyre's expense, who I thought, despite having a ropey end of the year and start of the year when he was being tagged with Braun Strowman and Ziggler, he's recovered well, and that kind of monster heel gimmick is back and he's doing well. He absolutely obliterated Dean Ambrose twice. It was great TV. I loved watching him. He's pure cartoon villain kind of character, and I really like that. The whole overusing the accent and everything is perfect. So it's disappointing for me that McIntyre's going to be fed to Roman, but given the circumstances, I'm happy to accept it, and I think Roman Reigns will and should win here. Next match, Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. When I first heard about this, I groaned. I was like, meh. AJ Styles had a pretty bad run as WWE champion, very uninteresting bar one or two feuds in where he should have lost. Like Samoa Joe should have taken the title off of him. Randy Orton is someone I'm just not interested in. He's called Blandy for a reason. I have no interest in Randy Orton. The only time I've actually found Randy Orton interesting was when he was doing that whole Legend Killer thing, and then Jericho did that better. So I did like Orton when he was in Evolution that time, but to me he's either the killer heel or the boring face. But anyway, having said all of that stuff, watching the build up between the promos back and forth between these two guys has been awesome. AJ even alluding to Orton's drug tests and Orton getting digs in about TNA and bingo halls. Why is it always bingo halls and high school gyms? It's not always high school gyms that these guys are wrestling. So I think that'll be a good match. I think AJ will win it because Orton seems to be getting the upper hand on SmackDown recently. So that usually says AJ is going to win there. Back to Raw. We've got a no holds barred match between Triple H and Batista. And after an amazing opening where Batista made bits of Ric Flair and that did a little promo at the end, that was fantastic. My interest for this has gone. It's just the build up has been so bad. It's just Triple H coming out, throwing out real terms and fake terms and mixing them up and breaking kayfabe and not breaking kayfabe. And oh no, it's just Dave versus Paul. I hate that stuff. Stay in character, for God's sake. Stay in character and sell me the match based on your characters. I don't care about your personal lives or your personal names, etc., etc. He did this as well with Triple H, the whole Phil Brooks thing, or the CM Punk and Triple H, the whole Phil and Dave and Kevin. Oh, just stop! You're boring, lads. Anyway, as for the match, I hope it's like I can see it. Well, no, I want it to be like Lesnar and Goldberg, where it was over in 5 minutes and it was just people, two of them battering each other from side to side. But I can see Triple H wanting to win here, and he probably will. He'll win here tonight in this match, but I can see him dragging it out and exposing Batista's weaknesses because he's going to have a lot of ring rust. So I think if this goes any longer than 10 minutes, it's bad. Just bad. Triple H to win for me. I am excited about Batista returning though because I do like him. His heel persona can be awesome. Raw Tag Team Championships. Hawkins and Ryder versus the Revival. Now this one came a bit out of nowhere. I was expecting Ricochet and Aleister Black to be fighting the Revival, but they've somehow ended up on the SmackDown one now, which I'll talk about in the next video. I want Ryder and Hawkins to win. For the simple reason is I'm massive fans of the guys and their YouTube page and their podcast, which I listen to the whole time. The Major Brothers Figure Podcast. So for that reason alone, I want them to win. I know the Revival are a far better team, but they can recover. They've been battered down a few times and they've always recovered. So I think they'll recover from this. But I think for me, Ryder and Hawkins to break his losing streak at WrestleMania is a fantastic story, and them to win. Back to SmackDown, we've got another match that could have been another match that could have been a multi-man match with Andrade and I can't think of the other guy. Mustafa Ali, I think, yeah. So the United States Championship, Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio promising to have his son Dominic in the crowd, who is now 3 times the size of him, compared to the last time we saw Dominic when in that Eddie Guerrero famous I Am Your Papi storyline. But I expect to see Joe choking out Dominic and probably choking out Rey for the win. I hope Rey doesn't win here. He doesn't need the US title. And Joe has been damaged enough, so Samoa Joe for me has to be. And then SmackDown's big one. I thought they shit the pants a few times on this feud between Kofi and Daniel Bryan, putting up gauntlets here and there and using the same matches over and over. But when they finally went face to face last Tuesday on SmackDown, there was genuine tension there, and I'm really hyped for this match. And with the little thing that they did with the New Day winning the tag titles, winning the tag team gauntlet, there's even that little, if Kofi loses, could Big E and Xavier turn on him for, they fought for his job and he screwed up his chance. I don't know, but look, it's me speculating. I think it would be great if Kofi won, but I also think it's very soon to be taking the title off of Daniel Bryan. So for me, I think Daniel wins somehow. I don't know, will Kofi tap out though? There could be shenanigans. Even in a WrestleMania match, I think there mightn't be a straight finish here, but I don't know. It just seems too perfect for Kofi Kingston to win his first ever title shot. It's possibly something that will happen at Backlash or Money in the Bank, I think is what's next after this, where you could see Kofi winning the Money in the Bank. And I don't know. For me, Daniel Bryan to win here anyway. And my last one for this video, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Oh my, how have they tried to mess this up so much in the past couple of weeks. When Becky won the Royal Rumble, she came out and had a one-on-one promo with Ronda Rousey, and it was scorching. It was fire. The whole crowd were into it, and it was just made for WrestleMania. And since then, WWE have done their best to water it down by adding in Charlotte, firstly, and giving Becky this stupid injury where she's looked so weak now for the past two months, coming down to the ring on a crutch and getting beat up, and they just try to ruin the character like they often do. But that last segment on Monday Night Raw where the three of them got arrested, I don't know what they were going for there, but it was absolutely hilarious, and it really made me interested in the match again. I think feud-wise, Rousey versus Becky would have been the better match, would have been the better feud, but you're going to get a better match with Charlotte Flair in there. So to win it, it has to be Becky. If they're closing the show, it has to be. If Rousey or Charlotte wins to close WrestleMania, the crowd will all over it. And I can't see that happen. I think Becky taps out Ronda Rousey. So, if you liked my thingy, if you liked it, subscribe. I'll have more discussion stuff like this. Like, share, leave a comment into the thing below, and also make sure to come back tomorrow for my part 2, where I'll be covering Lesnar and the rest. Stay tuned.